I know some of you, most of you can't see, it's one way. So I think I'm just going to say who is on the Zoom call here. I don't know if they can hook up. There is a way. I can't figure it out. So we have Lauren on the call. We have Shreya from Sustainable CT. We have Suman on the call today. We have Maya from Sustainable CT. We have Christine and
Christine.
Yep.
Lajane.
Christine Lajane is here. I think you are joining in the capacity of a public today. Is that Christine?
I am. I'm a former committee member. So.
I know you are. I know you very well. I was gonna say.
And they missed
They
committee
missed
member.
you. And then we
Much
have,
missed.
yeah, much missed, very much. And we have Natalie Tellis on the call.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Okay.
Now, has the baby arrived?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Thank goodness. So if you hear crying, that's not me.
Congratulations, Lauren.
Or it might be,
Congratulations.
Lauren. You never know.
It might be me.
And what are you doing here with
Thank
us?
Huh?
What are you doing here with us? Shouldn't be the baby.
It was either bring him in person or
I wish she had Lauren, I wish she had brought him in person.
Yeah. I see. So, all right. So for you guys, because you cannot see, we have Cliff here with us. We have Abby, our newest member, first time you're meeting her. And then certainly Caroline. And we have two public children members in the background that are trying to learn how the committee works. Anyway, so this is 12:21 p.m. This is Wednesday, the July 9th. I am going to call the committee to order so that we can start committee's business. Okay. We do have public members today. Are there any public comments anyone wants to offer?
No.
Okay. Christine said no. All right. So we'll move on.
Is Cliff there?
Yes, Cliff's
Okay.
here.
I just wanted to make sure for attendees.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Cliff, myself, Abby, and Caroline. Okay, in the room. All right. Thank you. So, do we have any previous meeting minutes to be approved, Lauren?
Yeah, just we didn't meet last month, but the month before, no changes. Everything is on our share drive. So I'd like to make a motion for those to be approved so that we can share them with the town.
I second the motion.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good to go.
So May.
You want to take a vote?
All right. Anybody objects? Okay. I ought to approve. Suman?
Any opposed?
Me
Okay.
too.
Raise hand. Okay.
There we
Good for you. Okay. So just I know it's official or not on the topic, but just one more item I would talk about. Amanda was our committee member for many years and also the vice chair, and she has decided to I don't want to take a break, resign from the committee because she has personal priorities. So I would like to thank Amanda for her service. She has been really very valuable. And certainly this year, once I took over as the chairman, I had to go away for a while because I had personal situation to address, and she did a fantastic job keeping the committee together and doing everything great. So again, I would like to thank her for her service. That brings up an important topic again. We do need a vice chair to run the committee in my absence. I'm gonna ask to see if there is any interest or if there is any suggestion, recommendation, so that we can we have a backup in case I can't run the committee for a day or whatever.
Christine, you're joining and becoming vice chair? What?
Yeah, you're funny, Lauren. I think that was Carolyn.
Okay, any recommendations? Because we have right now, we have 5 committee members. Lauren, Suman, Cliff, Abby, and myself. All
Yeah.
right, first of all, is there a volunteer? Let me ask, is there a volunteer?
I'll do it if someone else wants to become the meeting minutes secretary person. We can switch around. So we can open that up.
Now that's conditional.
That's how I roll.
I'm willing to do it unconditionally.
Okay, all right, so Cliff's gonna be the
All right.
vice chair. No conditional.
I
So
don't want to do the minutes again. I did them for 3 years.
I'm gonna, okay, how do we do this voting? Do we vote?
I think you have to.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I'm gonna nominate Cliff for the position of the vice chair. Do you have a second?
Second that.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, we got 2 seconds. All right, everybody wants to vote? We need oaths. Okay, everybody agrees? All right, Cliff, you are the vice chair,
Thank you.
and welcome. Wonderful. All right. So next agenda item we have is sustainable CT application. We do have Shreya and Maya from Sustainable CT here who have been helping us. I'm just gonna open up for a bit here before we go into detail. I know, Caroline, you were working with Shreya and Maya. Do you need any help from them at this point for any of the work?
What I've been doing is trying to go through and tick off one action item
Yep.
in each category that, you know, just so that we have something in each category. Some of the categories, we don't have something in yet. But on the audit that Summer did earlier this year, there were a few cases where she said the points would carry over, but we needed to put in some indication that everything is still relevant. And I was just wondering, how should we go about doing that? Like, is it something that we should put in the comments? Do we have to re-enter anything? Do we have to update anything?
Right.
So there are a couple like that where it said no changes needed, but I just want to know, how do we indicate that that's still okay and that we can then mark it as completed?
So so that's good. So if you need help, you know, they're available for a while for us, right? Okay. Okay.
As I complete action items, I've been emailing them to review, and once they say that they're okay, and it looks like we would get the requested number of points, I
Okay.
then mark it as complete.
Okay.
So we're now up to 210 points.
Wow, that's
But-
good.
But can they answer that question right now? Because that's a pretty straightforward question, isn't it?
Yeah, hi, I'm Maya, one of the Sustainable CT Fellows. And yeah, if you put it in the comments, just explaining how the uploaded documents are still relevant, that is perfect in the comments of the action application.
Great. That will
Or
save us.
also you can, sorry, this is Soraya. You can also upload a separate document, just writing a brief paragraph. That also works.
Okay. So brief paragraph and or notation in the comments. So then I will do that for, there were several different ones where I saw that, so I'll do that for them, send them to review, and then we can mark those as complete.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I have a few as well that I wanted to maybe run by you, Maya and Shreya, if that's okay. Maybe I can just like shoot you an email and say, hey, can you take a quick look at these and tell me if I did it right for a couple of the action items?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Do you have our emails? We can put it in the chat.
Yeah, I think, I have your emails. I guess it would be like, I'll just tell you which, because it's a little confusing of like the subtopics.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just tell you which one I added to, and then you can take a look and just whatever, I guess, advice or thoughts you have on what I could do differently or submit, what else needs to be submitted to get those points. That'd be great. I'll just shoot you an email with my 3 or 4 topics.
Yeah, of
sounds good.
course.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Can I
Of
just,
course.
a point of clarification, shouldn't the material be uploaded to the application and then Lauren tells you it's in the application and then asks you to review those? Is
Yeah,
that?
I can do that.
Okay.
Does that makes more sense than emailing you everything, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
makes it easier, but we can also upload documents on your behalf. But if you're able to
Yeah.
upload them directly to there, either way, either avenue works.
Some of my documents include like multiple topics. Can I submit like a document with multiple topics for under multiple topics, or do I have to kind of break it apart and say, okay, like figure out like, okay, this one is for this topic, this one is for this topic, because I had some help from our high school students and it kind of like blended, a few different things together. Do I have to split that out, or can I just submit like one summary document for the same document in each topic that it applies to?
You would just have to say in the comments, if you're gonna just upload the document with everything on it, you would have to say in the comments, please see page this and section.
Yeah, just how to locate.
Yeah, in the
Okay, so
review
just
and
so it's
comments.
clear. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
If somebody could forward me their emails as well, that would be great if I have any questions when I'm finalizing this work.
I'll put them in the meeting
know.
minutes too, your
I don't-
emails.
Yeah, I don't get those though, Lawrence. If somebody could just send them to me.
So let's
Great.
see if you all can see all the committee members.
Yeah, or Carolyn can send them to me, somebody can.
Okay. I think I can see.
Yeah, I can send them to you, Christine.
Thank you, Lauren.
Mhm.
Oh, I'll have to borrow this from you.
I don't think that's today's, unfortunately, but I think it's pretty much the same thing.
One last question for Maya and Shreya. There are a couple of action items on the application that have been marked as complete. They're not ones that I did. I actually don't know who did them. And I'm just wondering if everything that's in the application currently that has been marked as completed is something that you've reviewed.
The ones that I've marked as completed, I've only marked 2 so far as completed, and those are the ones I've emailed you about. The other ones, I'm not sure who marked those.
So Carolyn, real quick, I know I worked with Summer on, I think it's 5.1. So I uploaded all the documents, much like what is being recommended that you do as well, Lauren. And Summer ended up reviewing that for me and suggested that I mark that as complete after her review.
Do you know?
So,
remember? Okay.
so Summer, I think, has been handling those items within the application itself as complete. She's been reviewing some.
Okay. Great.
So I think we're on the topic, so let's continue. So Shreya or Maya, so how many points do we need to get to bronze? Just want to confirm. 200. So Caroline, based on what you said, we are already at bronze level.
Not
No,
yet,
not yet.
because we don't have, first of all, there is one mandatory action item, which is 1.1, and we don't
The equity
have,
piece, yeah.
right, we don't have that yet.
Okay.
And then it's not just, it's a combination of the number of points and the distribution.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we need.
So we don't have something, and
We're
there
gonna
are
tackle
certain
every-
categories where we don't
yeah,
have
okay.
anything marked as complete.
Yeah, 200 is not there yet because we have not tackled every single
Right.
item we need to be. Okay, that's good.
But do we have somebody on each of those things? I mean,
Yeah.
I asked this without being
have-
part
we
of it.
have.
I apologize for that.
I'm Cliff. I may have to ask for your help on 12. Yeah, I think that's one where we just need to do an update. So,
Is it a 12 point something or is it just 12?
well, there were 3 sub actions that you completed
Okay.
there, right? So,
I'll take a look.
okay. And, what else? Yeah, I mean, I think there was someone as the designee and on the audit. I think
Yeah.
someone is
Yeah.
indicated there for each of them.
Yeah, for each action item. So just from, sorry, let me just say, did I miss anybody? Any other updates on the sustainable city from anybody else?
So I just had a question on this. So do we have a date when we want to have all the preliminary stuff submitted so we can kind of check back and see what, what total we are at and what categories we have and just kind of do a sanity check on what we do need and how realistic it is to get it by a certain date? Sorry, that was a loaded question.
Due date, right?
I think we talked about it last time, Lauren. What we said was, if you want to go do August, I think we can only go bronze, but our
Yeah.
certification is valid until the end of the year. The next one is April, I believe. So the question is, should we just go with April, get everything done, and then apply for silver versus go with August, do bronze? I think we said April, but again, I'm open to listen.
Well, I mean, that's a good question. What would happen if we
Yeah.
don't do August and we do April? Our certification expires at the end of this year. I mean, that's a question for sustainable CT.
That would be, so if your application expires, then everything that was carried over from those previous 3 years, those look back period, that those points won't carry over. So things that happened back in like 2023, if you're gonna, that applies to your current application that if you were to submit in August. However, or sorry, 2022, because it's 2025. Next year, the items that were done in 2022, those actions will not carry over.
Right. So it
Oh.
behooves us to try to get the application in this
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
And the deadline is August 19th?
August 19th, yes.
Okay. So, okay, that brings a lot of urgency then.
Mhm.
So with that in mind, it sounds like we need to do like a preliminary review very soon to check our sanity on points and categories. That's what I'm hearing.
And then which topics we need to really focus on, right? Because depending on how far we can, either we get to bronze or silver, whichever one. Yeah, okay. So I think, Carolyn, you had suggested meet weekly until we complete this thing.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna ask committee members, is there whoever's working on the sustainable city, are you open to meet weekly? But the problem there is, we need to give committee the notice and all. So maybe we need to divide and conquer, meet separate groups. That way we don't have to go through the procedural hurdles, right? If you are not a member anyway, so you can
Right,
meet
I don't
any of
have,
us.
right.
And then we need to make sure we are distributing the work in such a way that we are not bypassing any committee rules,
Right.
right?
So subgroups.
Subgroups, yes.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I kind of went through the application this morning and the only category that I am really concerned about is the first one. The optimize for equity. Amanda has been working on that.
yeah,
I thought she said she was going to email something to me, but
Okay.
I did not see anything as of this morning. So I'm just not sure where we are there. But I feel fairly confident that we will have at the minimum points in each of the other categories.
okay.
Carolyn, do you know, is Amanda working with one of the equity sustainable CT?
Yes, she has been. She's had some meetings with them,
Summer, I think, she was working with Summer.
and others.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, do you know if she needs help? I mean, I'm happy to help her.
Yeah, yeah. I also suggested that she reach out to Kathy because Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy, perfect.
Patients. I don't know if she has, though. I spoke with her last week. I haven't spoken with her since.
I'm on because I can still log into sustainable CT. It was still listed as unplanned. So I think that needs to be changed.
1.1?
Yeah, unless I'm still getting an old.
You're getting an old, it's listed as planned. 1.2 and 1.3 are unplanned, but 1.1 is required. It didn't
Yeah, I
even
know.
have the
Yeah.
option to not plan it. So.
All right.
Yeah, so, yeah, maybe we can, maybe you and I and Kathy can meet with Amanda, can talk to Amanda and kind of go over what she's been working on and try. I think what she explained to me, I think fits. It's just putting it in a form, putting it in, you remember how it is, putting it in the form.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So here is what I recommend then. So we can meet in subcommittees.
Mhm,
I would also say the second meeting we're gonna have next in 2 weeks.
mhm.
Can we focus fully just on looking at the application itself?
Yeah,
Does it make sense? Then we say, okay, here is what's done, what needs to happen in the next 3 weeks, and let's get it done.
yeah. Mhm.
Does it work, Lauren?
So say it again, in the next 2 weeks, we need to
In the next 2
focus.
weeks, right, we have the other meeting we're having in the next 2 weeks, right? We're meeting monthly. Let's dedicate the next meeting just to review the sustainable city application itself and strategize in terms of what's done, what concrete steps we need to do, who do we need to meet so that we can get it done.
But you said that in 2 weeks.
He's
Yeah.
saying to meet on the 23rd, I think, is what
That's
you're
Wednesday,
saying.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meet on the 23rd.
Yep,
Double check where we are.
yep.
And plan out what needs to be done to get us in time
Yep.
for the 19th.
But in the meantime,
Continue to
some
check
of
it out.
us
Yeah.
will meet in subgroups to
Yeah.
kind of divide and conquer and get
Yes.
some of these actions completed.
Done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've only got 6 weeks to get this done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
Yeah, and if we want to run it by Shreya and Maya beforehand, if there's time to do that,
Yep.
that's what we want to try to do, right?
what we should be doing is as we complete an action item, you should be or you can send it to them directly as they suggested, or put it in the application and ask, say, 1.1 is complete, could you review it? And they review it and then they write you back and say, could you do this? Or yes, it looks good. And then we can mark it as complete. So they're looking at it in pieces, which is a little bit more efficient, I think.
Got it.
Yeah, I think if we continue to do that for the next 2 weeks, let's get done what we can.
Yes.
And then we know what exactly we will focus just on those topics. It's bronze, it's silver, it's silver. At least we don't want to lose the points we have gained.
Right, we don't want to lose that, have to start
Yes,
over from
start over from
scratch.
Okay.
That would be a hard lift.
Yes.
That, and all the work we've already put into this.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay.
So on the 23rd, are we meeting at 12:15 or are
It's
you
the
doing one of
it's
those
the
evening
evenings.
meetings?
It's evening meeting.
Evening meeting, so
Evening.
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8
8
p.m.
p.m.
Okay.
23rd.
And virtual.
Virtual. Yes.
Okay, Got it.
Do
I'm
daytime
available
meetings-
that night if you need it. You want me to jump on?
We'll include you. Yeah, I'll include in the invitation, Christine, so
Yeah,
that,
you're coming,
Yeah.
Christine.
Thanks, Mohan.
Please.
I mean, it's funny now, you guys are all, prior committee members becoming non-members and helping us. I will take it. It's awesome though. Yeah.
All hands on deck, guys.
I mean, it's, having been through this
Yes.
process twice
Yeah.
before, I mean, to expect someone who's never been through the process, which is most of
It's
the
fun.
committee,
Yeah.
it's too much.
Yeah.
It's a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you. So just from my perspective, so we did have the energy audit thing. Finally, we were able to get hold of the Eversource person,
Mhm.
Chad. Myself and Tony, we are meeting him at 2:30 today.
Oh,
Talk
wonderful.
about how can they help. It looks like a very easy thing for them to do. So we'll connect Tony and Chad today and see what they can do. I think that should be easy to do now, so which is fine. There are 2 action items. One is actually we can, I think, carry forward. All we have to do is yes.
Yeah, that's the achieve high energy performance for
Yeah.
individual buildings. That was done less than 3 years ago, so
Yeah.
that's still eligible.
Yeah.
And also participate and promote CPACE. So we do have other things in
Yeah,
that category
yes.
if that ends up not working out.
Yeah, the CPAs, again, I gotta send them again. I'm happy.
You want me to do that?
Can you please?
Yeah,
I
okay.
think a roadblock there or something.
Because I did that one twice before. so-
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay.
Mohan, question for you on the zero emission vehicle deployment. Were you tracking that one as well? Because it seems like you had some information or you'd done some,
Well, it's
something on that.
the only thing, yeah, so the only thing we have right now, based on what we understand, Suman, is they have bought 1 hybrid vehicle to the town. I don't know whether you could claim, depending on, it's not a zero emission, there is still. but depends on what it is half EV versus half hybrid. We need to take a look at that and then submit that and see if it qualifies, but I doubt that it's gonna qualify based on the criteria, but yeah.
So the zero emission vehicle deployment, it has some reference to one of the officials participating in a training related to the electrification. That's the requirement, right?
Yeah, that one is, it said no change, it's still
Because they have done
eligible.
it before, right? Because that's the, we'll get the credit for the prior, yeah.
So we have credit in that category already.
Okay, excellent. So is there an action there? Do we resubmit or?
Well, that's what I was asking, you know, in a case where it says no change, nothing more has been done. The participation, happened within the look back period. I guess that's what we would put in the, Shreya and Maya, is that what we would put in the comments? Just that this participation, happened within the look back period and we're asking for credit again? Is that what we would do?
Did they leave?
Did they leave?
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yes, that is what basically you do is the just two sentences, like just like that.
Okay, because nothing more has been done. There's been no further participation in additional trainings. It's just the one training was, we had members of our town participate in, and we got credit for it, but it's within the look back period.
Yeah, let me double check that information. I'll email you
That's fine.
later about that. Oh,
We
sorry.
could put that in the
Put that. We
comments.
can-
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Cliff. Yes. So we're set with that one, I think. We
Yeah,
just have
so
to-
Suman, then what we have to do is make a comment which says the town has purchased a hybrid vehicle in addition to getting the credit for the look back period, and that should give us a credit.
Okay, I think I'll go ahead and submit that because that one was tagged with both your and my names, Mohan. And I didn't see any note on the our tracking sheet.
Yep.
So I'll take care of that.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, I think we have kind of exhausted this topic. We'll talk next in 2 weeks in detail. The action item there is all of us will continue to do what we have to, and then we'll take stock of the situation on the 23rd and move forward.
Hey, Mohan, just real quick, are we still putting everything in the G drive under the sustainable CT certification topic? I just wanna, should I
Google
share
Drive,
my,
right? The Google Drive?
yeah,
Yes, yes.
just so you know, I haven't been putting things in
Well,
there.
okay, sorry. I'm
Right.
just gonna get this. So I think that
Or directly into the application.
exactly. We
Yeah,
used
I
it as
put
a.
stuff directly in the application.
Sorry, I'm
And
just gonna
just
give you-
marking on the audit that in the column where, you know, it says due, I've been put complete, you know, when it's been completed, just so we know that one's done.
Do you do that? before Check.
okay, just so you got, I was,
Yeah,
C2.
after they,
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna do, so just so you kind of know what I was doing, I was just gonna share my screen real quick with so this is our G drive, and like under the sustainable CT certification tab, I started making folders here, like see watershed education, local business information, invasive species, pollinator information, and then like I've been putting the like all the documents I submitted under that. Does that make the most sense in case we need to pull them for something else? Because like, God forbid something happens and we don't have the documents, like with Amanda.
So here's what I'm gonna.
well, they're in the
yeah,
application.
Here's what I'm gonna suggest.
Yep.
Oh,
So right now, Lauren, I don't want to create more work for anybody else, but I'd like this approach. This is where we have to get to, because at least some point we need to have our own consolidated repository. What I recommend is, if you're uploading directly, upload, it's fine. Once the application is full, I'm going to go in, validate, and pull all the content so that we have it at one place, which is fine. If you have done it, that's great, we will take it. For those who are uploading directly, I will consolidate. So that way we can focus on whatever they're doing versus.
great. Good idea. Thank you.
Okay. Very good. So let's move on to the next topic. This is kind of interesting. So the updates on meetings by committee members. If you guys have had any meetings within your own topics, so we can discuss them. So I'm going to say, let's start with Cliff.
So I have now been in touch with the 3 different companies that offer to haul away food scraps. They all claim that they're capable of doing institutional work here in Darien. They're not all doing residential. The 2 of them, I have little doubt, but that they can do it. The 3rd one is a little bit iffy. But at least, you know, we've got that much information about them. I had a meeting with one of the 3 senior residences in Darien, the residents at Selleck's Woods, and they're very receptive. They gave us a tour showing us all the food waste, how it's processed, et cetera. And they've been sent a proposal by Curbside Compost already. And I've provided them with the name and contact information for the other 2 if they want competitive bids. They're part of a corporation. They have to get corporate approval. So we'll see what happens. But it's a positive thing. It's moving in the right direction, the way it is at the schools. And we have suggested to them that we do think that they are subject to the law based on doing 300 to 500 meals a day. I need to get a handle for these other residences on the number of meals they're doing, which in the case of at least one of them might be a little difficult because their attitude is if it's the law, we'll do it. Well, they're not going to help us determine probably that it is the law, that the law applies to them. So anyway, I'm trying to find a way around that, perhaps just based on the number of residents who are there. Anyway, working on that. Also thinking about our clubs in town. Pretty much all of the clubs generate a ton of food waste. And you know, how do you in a nice way get them to realize this is something they should be doing something about, whether they're legally required to or not. And if it looks like they are legally required, you know, making them aware of that. So that's kind of where that is at the moment. Anybody who has ideas or thoughts are welcome. On the residential side, I really haven't done anything, but it is clear that we could use a new communications campaign of some kind. I mean, we've tried all kinds of things, magazines and so on, but to get something out there, you know, where everybody knows, don't waste the waste, right? We can use it. So that's, you know, once you guys have finished with sustainable CT, maybe some of you are smarter than I am can help me. We can.
I don't know that, but yeah.
We can put our minds to finding a new communications campaign.
Did you take any pictures with the Select Woods and stuff?
I did not.
It's gonna say that could be part of our communication campaign, right? So which is, well, you visited, you had a good conversation with them, and we could, if we want to do some articles, etc. So.
Well, I was thinking, so that's institutional, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking residential.
I was thinking both, right? So yeah.
Institutional. I mean, if we have them saying, you know, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can shame the others into doing it.
That's the idea, right? Yeah, right. So that's the, okay. Here is what other opportunities you have.
Whatever
So,
it takes.
Yeah. Okay. No, very good. Thank you. Thank you for the upgrade.
Just so, help my wheels turning, what were previous campaigns for the residential food scrap?
So we have these postcards
Mhm.
that describe our program very concisely, which we hand out at various places like the different fairs in town, even sidewalk
There's
sale.
some
places.
downstairs in the lobby, I
Okay.
think, or maybe they're outside the health department, but I know we had some out there.
Yes, and I mean, when I go up to I have a yellow vest so that when I tell somebody something, they don't chew me out.
Yeah, we've also sold food scrap kits at
Mhm.
various events,
Okay.
especially when the program first launched.
Mhm.
And we've had a couple of compost giveaways where the town purchased a pretty large amount of compost back from the place where we send our food scraps. And it was a compost giveaway where residents could come and take food scrap
Yeah.
compost. And we pretty heavily promoted that.
Yeah.
And we had something with Whole Foods. We've done sidewalk sales. Yeah, I mean, it's,
And I don't know how many articles in local magazines,
Yeah.
papers.
and social media
Yeah.
Yes.
heavily, you
Yeah.
know, just
Yeah.
doesn't.
So we've
seem
been
to
trying,
make-
we've been trying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's are incredible.
But I think a refreshed campaign
Yeah.
would make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I think an event actually could be.
Yeah.
To bring people in, and whether that's like a pumpkin composting thing or something in the fall.
Yeah.
Just, and then,
That's a big one.
yeah.
That's a big one.
Okay, thank you. Myself, so let's see, who else do we have? So Lauren, anything from you from any of your meetings?
The most recent meeting, Carolyn and I met with the students who were helping us with the sustainable CT, one of the action items. And so they did an absolutely fantastic job. We will want to recognize them and their efforts just because of the number of hours that they put in to creating, just creating and documenting and researching invasive species as well as pollinators for the most part. And then they have a few additional things that they may kind of be doing or pushing from the eco there's like an eco club at the high school side of things. And I think we want to kind of keep them on the radar and keep them involved as much as we can because it is a good bit of manpower over there. So I want to continue to have, ideas on how to keep the high school students involved. But yeah, I'm not going to go through their document. It's pretty in depth. But I think that if you want to see it, I'll share it with everyone. Just so you can kind of review what they went through, or you can go on the sustainable CT page and see what I submitted under that.
Yeah, I have
That's
seen the document. They're very thorough. They're very, very descriptive. I do really like. I think this is really a good initiative, right? So because you are able to connect with the kids from the town, I think hopefully we can continue it. Maybe they can help us with other campaigns. So it's great.
That'd be great,
Yeah.
especially the,
Yeah.
like the food, doing a new campaign for
Yeah.
the food scrap
Yeah.
program.
So
Yeah.
that's very good.
Maybe they can help us do some TikTok videos or
Right.
something.
I mean, communications would be clear. Yeah, Natalie, we can share that with you too. Communications would be great, I think, for them, just because
Yeah.
like, just to get them involved on that end of things. Maybe I think we just need to be specific, like not just like, oh, hey guys, can you do Facebook and Twitter for us, or whatever, or Instagram, but like work with them very closely to get it up and running and let them kind of take it away. And I think maybe the sustainable CT certification is sort of a big, if we get bronze, we can maybe kick it off with that and say, hey, can you publicize this all over, and kind of get them a little more focused on something specific.
Yep. Okay. No, that's good. Thank you. So, I think Suman, did you have any meetings?
I'm sorry, say that again, Mohan?
Did you have any meetings with anyone, if you want to give an update to the committee members?
No,
Okay.
no, none here.
Thank you. Abby?
I did not.
Okay, good. Okay. So, I think I'm going to hold off my meeting update until we get to the gas powered leaf blowers. It's appropriate then. I don't want to take up the time here. So the next one is communication strategy. I know that Lauren, Caroline, and I to an extent were talking about it. So you guys can give an update. Where do we go from here?
Do you want to do it, Lauren, or do you want me to?
I mean, just to recap, I submitted a proposal where kind of we all get involved and we all start posting on Instagram and Facebook together. And so Carolyn and I actually, created the new Instagram page, and the Facebook page, I think we just kind of need to start moving that forward again, right, Carolyn?
The Instagram, remember we failed at setting that up, because we wanted to link them. If we wanted to just set them up separately and post separately in each of them, we could do that, but we wanted to link them so you do it once. And we
Yeah.
were having trouble with that, and I think we were asked, we would like your help, Mohan, in doing that. So what I've been doing in the meantime is I've been continuing to post at Darien Recycling Center, just so
Yeah.
that we get something out there. And then we'll just transition.
Yeah, so we haven't successfully linked them yet.
No.
Okay, so I think, are we gonna wait till after the sustainable CT stuff is over and then start moving forward with communications, or do you?
Forward, we will connect offline.
Yeah,
We'll take a look at that.
Yeah, I think
Either we
it's
can do or we
easy.
can't, either we can conclude one way or the other. Linkable, let's link them. If not, we'll post here, post it. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll take it out. So that's fine. Yeah.
But we do have,
Yeah.
we have the page set up
Yeah.
on Facebook, and we could
Okay.
start posting.
Can try to solve the technical challenge. So we'll see. All right.
Yes.
I think waste
To
management.
So whenever I post on Instagram, there's just a little thing you push aside and it'll also post it on Facebook if you wanted to.
Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's, it's, I'll explain to you
Okay,
offline why
okay.
it's not working.
Okay.
As you said, you're much smarter than all of us.
Yeah, maybe Cliff can help us figure it
Cliff,
out.
I will nominate.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Cliff, anything else on the waste management?
No, that was it.
Okay, gas powered leaf blowers. Abby, were you able to look into any of the stuff
Yeah, so I took a look at various towns and their ordinances, and at the state level, there's something pending as well. And I think kind of jumping on board here, it sounds like this is coming before us because there was someone who came in from the public and who raised the issue. Is that what has brought it to the committee, or is this? I was curious what where we are on position wise in terms of, is this something that we are wanting to pursue, or are we still kind of in the beginning stages of being interested in pursuing this? I educated myself, and I think I'm aware of the issues and aware of what people are doing, what other municipalities are doing, but I'm curious.
So let me try to give you a little background.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
So 2 years ago, this was a topic that we were interested in and did some research on. I sent you, I think, a couple of
Yep.
documents that sort of summarized what we'd found.
Yep.
And we were right at a point where we were, I think, ready to try to get the Board of Selectmen to endorse this and help us move something forward
Mhm.
that would have included not only the noise problem, but
Right.
the totality of the
Right.
thing, moving toward electric. Then our mandate expired and we weren't renewed.
I see.
So we
Yep.
lost a whole year.
Mhm.
During that year, the RTM did take up the question of leaf blowers in particular,
Mhm.
and the noise aspect, and how I think there's already an ordinance around noise in the town, but they
Yeah.
needed to do something to, and they were working on it, but I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
But they certainly were, I know that I asked them, can't you please take into account more than just the noise aspect, and they were not interested in doing it at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, so where are we now? I mean, I personally, and I don't know that I can speak for everybody, but I feel this is still an important topic and that we need to recommend to the selectmen that more be done.
Okay.
And part of that would be showing them that other towns are already doing things, because
Yeah.
there's a competitive aspect that can arise. And I know there's a view that among some that we don't necessarily want to be first movers. Well, I don't think we
Yeah.
have to worry about that. We're
Not on that.
tail end. So, yeah, I think this is something, I think, and maybe we have to vote, I don't know, but I think this is something as a committee we want to do.
No, we should continue to pursue. I think this was voted for us to pursue, and that's why it's been an agenda. And we will, from my perspective, we should continue. I think what need to happen is that, I think Cliff kind of summarized, we have the historical study of the research we had. We have that information, right? Now we're also talking to other towns and doing research. If you compile all that research and say, okay, fine, we had a historical context, we know what other towns have done, and here is what we as a committee think town should do. A proposal should go to the selectman's office so they can influence, or then that's when the communication also comes into play. Maybe we should start.
Yeah.
Would giving the selectmen like informal data about like, oh, we did like a preliminary study of Darien residents of, you know, XYZ, just not even a lot, but just like, and this is what we found. If we did, you know, had something to bring to them saying specific to Darien residents, like 95% of the people we talked to thought gas powered blowers, you know, blah, blah, blah. Would something like that be helpful? Because then it's specific to Darien, and then we can bring in the data about the other towns and things like that too.
A survey could be helpful.
Yeah.
Definitely a survey. It's a good idea.
Excellent idea. Maybe this Echo Club can help.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Your
that's a
Echo Club
great
is
idea.
great.
Although it's the summer, they're
Well, but summer's almost.
Right.
I feel like they're still ecoing, but I don't know.
they're still eco.
And the gentleman who came to our meeting that you alluded to him, who brought the topic up.
Yeah.
He might be willing to help out too.
Yes. So while we're on the topic, so let me give you an update on what I did on this thing. So I spoke to Peter Boyd. I had mentioned to you guys, he was the Westport Sustainability Advisory Committee chairman a few years ago. I spoke to him because he has done a lot of work, because he works at Yale, at CBA. They do a lot of environmental stuff. That was good for me, right? So I met with him. He said a few things. He said they worked on it for a couple of years. He said in Westport, again, we need to fully validate if that's still the same case. Now they have a regulation which says you can do only, fall cleaning. You can use these blowers for fall cleaning and winter cleaning or spring cleaning, right? Spring and fall you can use. But then in the middle, they are mandated to use only the electric blowers, not the gas powered, because again, they had the back and forth. I think that's where they have landed, which is in a much better position where we are in compared to, right? Even to get there, right?
Well, if you get to that, I mean, people aren't going to invest in both.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And then even, I think he was talking about let existing equipment expire, die, or whatever, any new thing should be added to the inventory should be electrical and stuff like that. So I asked him if he's willing to come into our committee and talk about it. Okay. Unfortunately, he's no longer part of the advisory committee. For some reason, some of the members figured they can do better outside, so they have formed Sustainable Westport, a different organization, nothing to do with the town committee. That's what they have done. But he's willing to come and talk to us, their experience, what they have done. If you guys think there is value, I'm happy to invite him so he can talk to us.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of wonder because, I mean, that's just sort of one example, and most of it's the information I think is available to us, what they've done.
Yeah.
I think it'd be wasting his time to come tell us what we can already find out. And other towns have been more aggressive with this. I mean, I think Greenwich has, hasn't it?
I think Norwalk and Stamford have similar, I mean, I knew this a couple of years ago. I've since forgotten.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, and Greenwich has one as well. That's different than either of those, but
I know some of them
remember what the
have
specifics
really
are.
are requiring the sunsetting
Yeah, that's Norwalk and Stamford.
of these gas things
Is
that
that,
they've
well,
got.
you just.
Yeah, I mean, I know what the local, towns to us are doing. I think before we kind of dove into the specifics of what every town is doing, what should we do? This is actually a pretty big issue with, I think, huge ramifications, like financial ramifications for people on the town as well. And so I think it's like, where do we start on this? Are we going to, we all know the effects, and it's not just the noise. We know the environmental impacts. I think we do. And I know I have my own personal beliefs on the issue. I don't know if those beliefs are yet ready to transfer sort of town scale. And I think we're jumping ahead too quickly without having, I think we start with the educational parts and we get, the consensus, we get the mind share. And I think a lot of people don't know the issues, beyond the noise. Even when I read about why these ordinances were passed in the other towns, it's all about the noise. And maybe that's enough for people, maybe because that is the most directly, impactful thing on the people right then is the noise. But there's so much more to it. And maybe there's a way that we kind of build ourselves to asking the Board of Selectmen to put something in place. So that's me. I'm a slow mover in terms of let's get town on, let's get residents on board. And so to Lauren's point about the survey.
So there are different audiences and different categories in a way. You've got what people use for themselves at home. That's one thing.
Yep.
And I think that's in the minority, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Then you've got what the town itself uses. And I mean, it would be nice to be able to get the town to lead the way in this.
Yeah.
And then you've got the landscapers.
Right.
And I mean, obviously we wouldn't want to impose on them a huge financial burden that's, unexpected. But if we want it to happen, we got to get going and give them like 3 years, 5 years, something like that. And the sooner we can do that, the better. So I think the educational thing, we got the data. Who do we give it to?
Well, honestly, from my perspective, Abby, yes, we need to do all of them, honestly. We need to educate where there's no education. We need to know how the people feel about these in town. That gets to the survey question. But eventually, though, if you look at all this data, if we're leaving everything out, if there are other towns that are doing some things already, our question is, they have gone through even the learning. We can talk to other towns and say, what's your experience? That's fine. But I think we need to come to a place where we say, okay, based on all of this information we have, here is the minimum viable option the town has. And this is what we recommend. And then it's really, we are not doing any of it, right? So it's really bringing it to the board and asking, what do you want us to do with this? Maybe we go talk to the RTA and say, what do you want to do? This is a real deal. Maybe they're going to vote on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I think my view, we need a package. We need a story. Maybe, 3 or 4 pages. And that's what we had created. Like we created a couple of pages. We need to augment that with what other towns learning and say, okay, as a committee, we agree these 3 things. Let's say there are 5 things town has to do, but let's start in this order. If we can come to it, that would be great. Could be as minimal as education. I don't know.
We put some information in the chat. Natalie had some good ideas here with all the momentum we're getting for Great Island. Perhaps we could start there. I know that they've gotten ecological momentum, I guess I would say, for Great Island, right? And some of the things that they're considering, perhaps they'd consider this as like a start, like a pilot sort of thing. I think that's what Natalie was getting at. And then the other thing she shared was, I don't know, Natalie, if you want to chime in, but there's some code here for leaf blowers. And I don't know, go ahead.
Rye passed a law on this, the city of Rye. And I sent the link because when you go into it, they cover everything I didn't know it was so detailed. But when you can use electric, when you can use gas, and they also have enforcement, which is interesting. It's something that Jay-Z always shies away from. But there are penalties for offenses, and it's very detailed. So I don't know anyone who's more advanced than Rye. They seem to be do everything first. And as for Great Island, the neighbors have been complaining about the leaf blowers. So I can also put them in touch with you. This has come up a lot, particularly because of the eagle's nest. So it's a big issue over there.
And
yeah, I was copied on some of the correspondences, Natalie, to Jay-Z directly on the Great Island concern. There is some back and forth. I don't know if that is satisfactory or not. That's a different question. But again, we have all this information. The only thing I would say is we are so far behind everybody. We are almost looking like we are unfriendly to the environment and the health and everything else, and even just the quality of life in town. If they keep blowing 24 hours, I don't know what quality of life you're going to get, right? So I don't know if that helps you.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
when I was, researching the issue in terms of, what do the towns do? It sort of was, for me, it was a moment of, where should we start? And, kind of jumping in on it a little on the later side, just trying to understand, where we want to start on this. And
There may also be guidance in sustainable CT. I don't know if Maya and Shreya know off the top of their heads if there is, but there might be something there.
yeah.
If you check out that too.
Okay. So what we can do is, Abby, maybe you and I can chat offline, maybe see how do we go about this. Like, what's our plan? If you're gonna do something in the, let's say, put a timeline of 2 months, 3 months, and what do we want to achieve? And then we can say, then we can come back to committee and say, look, here is the approach we're taking. So the end of 2 or 3 months, here is what we're going to deliver. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I think we're out of time, and there are also other topics here. I'm not doing anything on EV research, that's on hold right now. So I think we are at the end of the meeting. I'm gonna call for adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Need a second?
I second that.
Second, yeah.
I can't tell as a chairman, can I even raise my hand? I should wait for others to do it, but that's okay.
I keep wanting to also, and I'm not eligible.
Oh, buddy, yeah.
I thank you all. Very nice talking to you.
Thank you.
So speak to you in 2 weeks. It's going to be Zoom call, 8 o'clock, Wednesday the 20th. So have a wonderful day, rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.